Hi, this is Dr. Darren Schmidt at the Nutritional Healing Center of Ann Arbor, and this video is about Cyruta, which is a product from Standard Process. This is a bottle of 90 tablets, and it comes in this box, and this is the only size that it comes in. Now, this is not Cyruta Plus. Standard Process sells another product with a similar name, Cyruta Plus, but we're talking about Cyruta today. Now, in my office, this is the #2 most sold product. We have multiple practitioners, and in the last 12 months we sold over 500 bottles. And the #1 product is a good fat bar. That's why I wrote #2 here, to remind me to talk about that. We sell it at $15 per bottle, which is the going rate. That's what Standard Process recommends we sell it for. And there are people online who are selling it, like on Amazon, and they're upcharging to they're charging $45. So they're ripping you off. Plus, they don't know what they're dealing with. Standard Process is a company policy. They only sell through healthcare practitioners who are qualified in the natural realm. So they studied it and they understand how the body functions and how to fix the body with nutrition. So the people who are selling online are bypassing the company policy. So I'm recommending don't buy it on Amazon. You got to go through a natural healthcare practitioner. And if you don't have one near you, contact us, because we can do a long distance program, talk to you on the phone or Skype or something, and I can help you figure out if you really need it, because you might not need it, because there's other situations and scenarios when it comes to heart problems. There's lactic acidosis, for example. Okay, so Cyruta is Roto-Rooter for the arteries. Here's the ingredients. The first ingredient is buckwheat leaves that are juiced and then dried in a vacuum at close to room temperature, so it's not hot. If it were too hot, then the nutrients would be destroyed. So they dry it to a powder and then they tablet it with these other ingredients. Also, there's buckwheat seed. So why buckwheat? So in the 30s and 40s, Cyruta came out in 1948, but in the 30s and 40s they knew that buckwheat was anti-scurvy. That's how they talked. So scurvy is when the arteries are frayed, they're weak, they're breaking apart. Sailors in the 1600s had the first sign of scurvy because their gums would bleed, their teeth would fall out, and then they would have a stroke or a heart attack and they would die. That's how people die from scurvy. Another thing about buckwheat related is that it's anti-capillary fragility. Again, that's how the researchers spoke in the 1930s. They saw in humans or animal models that capillaries would become fragile. So how do you fix that? Well, buckwheat was anti-capillary fragility, and that's just their language. It's cool. All right, so next we have inositol, which is a B vitamin that emulsifies fats. So picture a kitchen sink filled with water, dirty dishwater, and there's grease on top of the water. You pour dish soap on top of that. The grease runs away from the soap because the soap is emulsifying it. So inositol emulsifies the fat. So in the 1940s, this is what they said. It was an antagonist to cholesterol in the capillaries. So inositol pushes the cholesterol out of the capillaries, which is a great thing when you have plaquing in your arteries, because you want to get that fat of the plaque out. Emulsified. It doesn't push it out like forcefully, it emulsifies it, it digests it, so it goes away that way. Okay, lastly we have adrenals in this pill. And when your heart is falling apart and you're having heart disease and thus fatigue because your heart is not working as well, your adrenals have to prop you up. So that's why Dr. Roy Lee put adrenal in this pill to give you energy, because you've been losing your energy. So these are the ingredients of Cyruta. And if you like this information, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, send it off to somebody that has heart problems or if they're on a statin drug. Now the FDA, they don't like what I just said, because in their mind what they say is anything that has an effect on a disease is a drug. So buckwheat was known to help heart disease, but the FDA would say, well then therefore buckwheat is a drug. And they tried this with almonds because somebody made a claim about almonds being healthy for a certain condition. So the FDA said, okay, it's a drug, you need to apply for a patent. And that's just their craziness, right? It's a government agency, so what do you expect? So, sorry about the political rant.